What's up guys, we're doing the best Nokia smartphone, so let's go ahead and get started. So first up, it's kind of like the mid-range or flagship, so the Nokia 9 PureView. So this comes in at about $500. So it does have a really eye-catching design with all those little cameras on the back. A pretty crazy design, very nice though. Android 9.0, you do have a 5.9-inch display, 1440 by 2880. You do have a Snapdragon 845 processor, so it will be plenty enough for gaming and pretty much anything you throw at it. 6 gigabytes of RAM and 128 gigabytes of storage. Now it does have a 3320 milliamp battery, should get you through a day and a half battery life. So all those cameras are actually 12 megapixel cameras, and then you have a front 20 megapixel camera. So this actually takes pretty decent photos. The photos aren't really that amazing even with all those cameras. A lot of people have said it's just pretty decent, and the design has said that it's not exactly that comfortable to hold, but this is a really nice phone if you're looking for a mid-range Nokia phone. It's got almost pure Android, and it's just really awesome. Now the Nokia 4.2 is another excellent smartphone, so this comes in at about 170, and this is actually a really nice smartphone. It got a pretty nice design, and the hardware is actually metal and glass, which is rare for a budget smartphone like this. So you do have a 32 gigabytes of storage, Android 9, a 13 plus a 2 megapixel dual camera. So this does have a 5.71-inch HD plus display, so very nice. You do have a dedicated Google Assistant button, which is really awesome. You don't see a lot of that on smartphones these days. Alright, so next is the Nokia 7.1. So this is a little bit more expensive, coming in at pretty much $300, but you do get a pretty decent spec upgrade. So this does have a 5.84-inch full HD display, 2220 by 1080. You do have dual cameras on here, a 12 and a 5 megapixel camera with an 8 megapixel selfie camera. Now you do have the Qualcomm Snapdragon 636, so this is going to be just fine for playing games, multitasking, all that stuff, along with the 4 gigabytes of RAM and 64 gigabytes of storage. Now you can expand that storage to 400 gigabytes with a micro SD. So you will get all day battery life with this guy, so that's really the kicker with this guy. And the build quality is just really solid with these Nokia smartphones. They're just built like tanks, guys. Now next is the Nokia 5. So this is a super budget smartphone, coming in at about $94. So this does have the latest version of Android, a 9.0. You do get 16 gigabytes of storage in addition to a 13 megapixel camera. So this does have a really small screen, 5.2 inches, but the design on here is actually pretty solid for a budget smartphone. As you can see, very nice. This phone will not break at all. So it does have the Snapdragon 430, so you're not going to be doing a lot of hardcore stuff on there. You're just going to be doing basic stuff, watching videos, playing little small games like that, but nothing too hard. So this is one of the rare phones you see with a metal design, so very awesome for the price. Alright, so last is the Nokia X71. So I really like this phone because of the design. As you can see, it's got the full screen punch hole display, which is very awesome with the classic Motorola hardware. So it does have a 6.39-inch display. Now this does have the Snapdragon 660 octa-core processor, along with 128 gigabytes of ROM. You do have 6 gigabytes of RAM, and it does support a micro SD. So you do get a 3500 milliamp battery, which should get you through a day and a half of battery life. So this does have the triple camera setup, which is really awesome, with a 48 megapixel plus an 8 megapixel and a 5 megapixel depth sensor. You do have front cameras, a 16 megapixel, and that display, like I said, is a pretty nice display at 6.39 inches. So this is kind of a nice little mid-range smartphone with a beautiful design. So thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one.